Hello Hammer Pattern subscribers and welcome to another Turnip 28 video featuring Alice and Mol, the giant grave dug monstrosity, and the sinister grave robbing antiquarian. So Alice and Mol is one of the cults from the Taster Campaign. It's one of the expansion, factions or cults. And the artwork for this cult, the artwork for Alice and Mol specifically, really inspired me to make something truly horrible. I don't think there's a conversion that I've done that's been more involved than Alice and Mol. I'm pretty sure that every single part from this conversion probably comes from a unique kit. This conversion is just a complete hodgepodge of bits and parts from so many kits I couldn't even begin to count. I might do something with arrows and pointy fingers later. The other thing that really got this project another friend of mine gave me some cavalry parts, and I've been building these brutes. The red coat kit is pretty nice. There's some really good poses that give off some good movement and also some good sort of regimented poses. German cavalry helmets and British redcoats to make this regal, important soldier for the brutes. I also wanted to make sure, because of Alice and Mol's faction ability, I wanted all of their ranged weapons to look very, very unique and very, very dangerous. Although not all of them are sporting the heavily converted rifles, I've made sure to give a lot of these brutes these big, chunky, wacky, long guns, needing to support themselves with ropes. And I think this one's probably my favorite. It's a crossbow with missiles and a flamethrower. So that is the black powder brutes. I also made a squad of chaff. I'm very proud of these. All of these weapons are also very heavily converted, using Skaven parts and tubes and extra long bits to make these weapons look just as effective as they are likely to explode in the soldier's hands. For the chaff, I sort of started to push on that sci-fi, I guess almost steampunk, so they've got more metal backpacks featuring an orc pistol and I believe a backpack from some Deathcore of Krieg with probably orc grenades. And I believe these ones are just the red coat backpacks, but still adding on some grenade packs to give them some sci-fi flair. So that is the chaff. Next we have some melee brutes using the Perry Miniatures Foot Knights, as well as some Cities of Sigmar parts. So some weapons from the Cities of Sigmar and some shields and extra bits from the mercenaries to have these heavily armored, well-armed, well-fed brutes. I went with the British cap for all of these guys to give them a more distinct look from my other Turnip factions, as so far I've painted most of the other Turnip units in a sort of vaguely French uniform. For Alice and Mol, I was struggling with the, how do I paint grave robbers? I was thinking about maybe gray, maybe drab gray, but then I realized that who but the British are the best grave robbers, so I've been painting them in a sort of semi-traditional British redcoat theme, although they are caked in oil and grime. I've really been getting good at making these masks, these sort of pointy bird masks. I'm very proud of how they turned out. I've managed to make them a lot smaller on these ones, and I think the scale is a lot more viable than on some of my other earlier projects, but I'm very proud of the earlier projects. It's nice to see my skills come a long way from the beginning. I've also built 2 toadies, a goblin and a sort of just officer, a little weird creature with a claw and a pistol, and a more generic sort of officer-looking soldier. Not a lot of work into this one. I did really like this helmet. Unfortunately, the little candle is broken off. I think the candle would have made a nice touch, but that's resin for you, baby. This goblin is basically just a little creature, running around picking up the good bits from the battlefield. This next unit is probably a little bit temporary, as this unit actually started off as a mounted toff. I'm going to run it as the new lump follower. I think that fits in to the theme that I'm going for a more elite small force that doesn't use fodder. So although this unit did start off as a toff, I will be using it as a lump, a close combat monster that is hard to kill and is marching across the battlefield, ready to serve Alice and Mol. The way that the Alice and Mol cult works is, first of all, Alice and Mol themselves replace the toff. So you don't get the weedy little toff that most Turnip players are useful. You get this big, beefy monstrosity. 6 wounds, 5+ vitality, a whopping 12 attacks, plus the ability to steal one of your opponent's unit rules and give that rule to your entire army. And that is just the first perk. The very first perk is you get this big beefy monster to be your toff. Boom. The second perk is all of your guns are experimental. And experimental means powerful, but experimental means dangerous. So, the way that works is the experimental weapons rule gives a extra attack for units for each special rule that they have. So, brutes, oh, lots of close combat brutes have the fearless rule, which makes them not run away. So they would get an extra shot every time they fire. But chaff with their sharpshooter, skirmish, vanguard, and also unstable icon, we'll get to that later, they would actually get to make an extra 4 attacks, which means that this squad of 4, which would normally make 4 attacks, gets to make 8 shots. And now you might be wondering, well, Lane, why did you mention unstable icon? Chaff don't have unstable icon. Well, now they do. Because like I said, experimental means powerful, but experimental means dangerous. So how it works is you get that extra attack, but you also get unstable icon. Unstable icon means that every one you roll to hit gives you a panic token. And once you have 3 panic tokens, every one you roll to hit is a dead model. What's cool about Alice and Mol is you're trading off this extra potential for risk. Your units are just about as likely to blow up themselves than they are your opponent, which is a nice twist on units that are generally bad. You get to sort of have this always overcharging, always exploding way of playing the game. But I probably will be doing maybe a couple more units, maybe a cannon, maybe a squad of fodder. But for now, I think that this is a nice little regiment. It's about, I think it's just under 20 models? 12, 16, actually yeah, it is 20 models on the nose. With the lump, the 2 toadies, Alice and Mol, and the 16 followers. Just a nice little 20-man brigade of grave robbers and experimental maniacs. Oh, there's one more over So yeah, and I'm pretty proud and happy with how this looks. It's based in the same way that all my other Turnip models are, so they're going to look great on the battlefield. So I'm excited to lend this out, or lend out one of my other armies, and try those things and give some people some experience with Turnip. But this has been Alice and Mol and her band of grave-robbing brigands. If you want to subscribe, if you want to share this video, please do. This is the call to action. If you've made it this far, activate all the buttons. All of the little things that you can do will help this channel. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for checking this out. This has been Lane from Hammer Pattern, signing off.